a horse called Do You Know What I Mean? And he's by Marteline. We've actually had him since a 3-year-old, so we bought him as a store horse. That's basically an unraced national hunt horse. And so I'm basically every day ride out here at home. Normally ride 3 or 4 lots. So come in, tack them up, and then go and do whatever exercise we're doing out on the gallops. Whether it be on the flat, cantering, or schooling them, one or the other. So it's quite an exciting time now because they're all pretty ready, fit, ready to run. Just need a bit of rain. In the mornings, I normally get in here for about 6:30, and then meet up with Dan, Tom, our assistant, and our 2 sort of head members of staff. So the head lad at this yard, Tolly Dean, and the head girl down at where I live, Amber. So we'll meet there in the mornings and basically just go through basically what's got to happen in the morning, go through the routine with the horses, what they're doing, work out the plan for the morning really. So, and it's a good time to just sort of catch up with everyone. If me and Dan have been racing or me and Tom have been racing, it's a good time to catch up for an hour. And Tolly will relate back to us normally in the evening how the horses are when he's checked round the evening before, if we need to look at anything, and Amber does the same. So that's a good hour in the morning there where we can just, go through all the horses and get prepared for the day really. We're now heading to the gallops. This is our 3rd lot, so it's the 3rd horse I've ridden this morning. And so obviously you see me tack up. Now we're walking towards the gallops now, where we'll warm up in a menage, and we'll trot around there for about 5 to 10 minutes. So you're just basically getting the horses' muscles warmed up, getting them loose. You're feeling, how they're moving, whether they are moving in the way they should and the way that they always do. So you're getting a general feel for how the horse is in his well-being this morning. And then we'll head out to the gallop, which is a 5 furlong deep sand gallop. And we do a lot of our sort of base work here, a lot of base fitness, a lot of core fitness, a lot more steadier than we would go perhaps when we're going up our other gallop, which is a hill gallop, and we sort of tend to go a little bit quicker up there. This gallop is very good for the horse to relax. It teaches them to breathe properly. When you're getting a young horse especially, you're trying to teach it to save its energy, and this gallop's brilliant for that because it's quite hard work on that deep sand, and they have to get into a rhythm and breathe properly, which obviously when it comes to a race, that's what you want, Now I enjoy riding out and, enjoy riding the horses in the morning, and, it gets you excited then for the afternoon of when it comes to riding them on race days. We like this horse. He's shown us quite a high level of ability at home. As you can see, he's quite a tall horse. He's a bit unfurnished. He's got a bit of strengthening out to do. He'll get a bit broader through the shoulders and behind the saddle as he gets a bit older. He's only 4 years old, so this year I can sort of expect to see him probably having 2 to 3 runs, but he's very much a horse that we see probably as a future chaser, and that's when you'll see probably the best of him. Regards their level of ability, you can get a pretty good gauge at home of how far you think they might be able to go, but you do sort of get some horses that show you an awful lot in the mornings and not so much in the afternoons, and sort of the better ones are the ones that tend to be doing their best work on the gallop right at the end of the gallop. Those ones that are just doing it in a bit of a rush, and are a bit keen towards the start of the gallop but don't ever finish their gallop out well, they're the ones you can sometimes just be a little bit wary of. But this lad, he goes really nicely. He's got a really big stride. He covers the ground very easily, and he's always doing his best work at the end really. You can see now he's got a good nature about him. He's very relaxed, and hopefully he's got a good future, this horse. I always feel that it's nice for the horse, especially a young horse, to have a nice break from his first run to his second run. If you run them back too quick, they sometimes don't sort of always back up their first run because they've put a lot of energy into that first run. It's taken a lot out of them. So I feel that you need to give them plenty of time from their first run to their second run, especially a young horse. When they come back in from exercise, we'll wash the horses down, and then we'll put them on the walker then to dry off. To be honest, this time of year it's not too cold, but in the winter obviously they won't sweat as much, and we try to keep their backs dry and keep them warm. It's very important you keep them warm. You know, they're like us, they don't like to be cold. So but I'll just wash him off now, get all the sand off him, make sure there's no cuts and knocks, and then he'll have sort of half an hour on the horse walker to dry off, and have his rugs back on, and then that's him for the day. I like being busy, I like working, and yeah. And you got this to look forward to, you get out of bed. I'll be here, if I'm not racing, I'll be here till sort of 1 o'clock. 1 o'clock, and then we'll be, go home then, and then back around 3 till 5:30. So in the afternoon, if I'm not racing, I will be sort of going around the yard with Dan and our head lad, just check the horses, walk around each stable with them, just checking the horse's legs, and then we'll sort of go around, discuss the plans for the horse. It's just a good time where we can sort of, you know, when you're going in each stable, you can talk, you know, about that horse specifically, about how it's going at home, how it's eating, is it eating well, is it taking its work well. Then me and Dan say, you know, how far off a run do you think he is? You know, where are we going to run him? Do you think he'll run here? Or, you know, Dan will say to me, what about this track, or what about this trip? And I'll say yes or no. It's just a good time to sort of, where you can get together and use the time wisely, you know. And I suppose a lot of jockeys, like, that's where it's a bit different for me, because a lot of jockeys, because it's not a family operation, they don't have to do that. But, you know, like I say, I'm completely invested in it, and you know, it's for my best interest, really. Did I always know I was going to be a jockey? No, probably not, actually. I was going to, obviously, show jumping, massive part of our family, and I thought that's the road that I'll be taking, but we always had race horses. Yeah, I suppose when I was 16, I left school and went to Richard Hannon's, and I was there for a year, and then I went to Pools then in Ditchit, and I was there for 9 years. Born with horses, grew up with horses from day one, so it's all I know, to be honest. Yeah. The more races you're in, the more you know all the other horses and how they like to be ridden, and how a stable might like their horses to be ridden, whether they more often or not like, you know, the form of the race, you know, how it's going to work out. Will there be a lot of pace, or will there not be so much pace? But I'm very lucky that I have a free rein to ride the horses how I think that they should be ridden, not tied down to one instruction. You know, and often just go out there, ride the horse, and ride the race. You can't pin yourself down to doing one specific thing, because, you know, it all changes. My mental preparation, yeah, there's pressure in every job, you know, but I feel that the most pressure I get is the pressure that I put myself under. You know, I certainly don't feel any pressure from my brother or from our owners. There's expectation, you know, because we want to do well. The most pressure I get is the pressure that I put upon myself to do well for them, really. I'm very lucky that I ride for good people.